Calisthenics doesn't build muscle. Calisthenics is for twigs. You can't get strong just doing bodyweight exercises. All of this couldn't be any further from the truth. Calisthenics, if done right, can be one of the most fun training styles out there. You can get strong and you can build muscle. I'm living proof. For the first 3 years of my fitness journey, I only did calisthenics. So clearly I did something right. So why didn't calisthenics work for you? The first question I gotta ask is, what type of calisthenics did you do? Because people don't realize calisthenics in itself is not just one particular training style. It's mixed up of a whole bunch of different training styles. Some, just to mention, is military calisthenics, static training calisthenics, dynamic training calisthenics. I've actually done a whole video on this a few years ago. But the point is, people really don't know why they're starting calisthenics or why they're getting into it in the first place. And that could be one of the first reasons why they never saw progress. And to make everything a lot more simpler, let's just put it into two simple terms: bodyweight bodybuilding for muscle, or bodyweight strength building for power. For the most part, people are gonna actually get into calisthenics for one of these two reasons. But from there, they don't have a defined goal of what they actually wanna do and accomplish. Then from there, the routine, the progress suffers from it. Me, for example, when I first started calisthenics, I did not care about building muscle at all. I simply wanted to get strong. And me having that singular focus of just wanting to get strong actually made it so that I can construct a routine around that so that I can progress as fast as possible. And I'll lay out my full outline right now. So the first 6 months, I only focused on foundational strength skills. So I'm talking about the basic push-up, the basic pull-up, dips, even the bodyweight squats. I just wanted to get my reps up so that I knew I had a strong foundation before learning any of these strength skills. Then after that, I took the time to only learn the one-arm variations or the one-legged variations of the moves that I built the foundations on. I was not adding weight to myself yet. I was not training static skills like the planche, front lever, none of that. I took it in a very strategic approach based on what I wanted to accomplish for myself. And then once I accomplished that, which did take some time, only then did I start changing up my routine to go for a more wider muscle building approach by adding weight to myself and mixing in other principles within my routine. But it started from that first solid foundation of knowing what exactly did I want to accomplish and what exactly did I want to do. Now here's the issue with people who say they want to build muscle with calisthenics, but they're still a little bit ignorant to the training styles and learning just how powerful calisthenics is. It's a fact that they never progressive overload. Calisthenics is always promoted as just doing the basic bodyweight exercises just for reps. So you can do 15 push-ups now, work your way up to 30, 40, 50, 100 in a row, and that is calisthenics. Let me tell you, my friend, that is a variation and a version of calisthenics, high rep or military calisthenics. However, you need to progressively overload with calisthenics in the same exact fashion that you would with weightlifting. But the point is, if you don't do it, you're basically not gonna see a lot of results in regards to your muscle or strength building progress with calisthenics. And I believe this is where a lot of people get it wrong. So let's say you have a rep scheme with a bench press, 8 to 12 reps. Once you hit that 12th rep, you move up on weight. What do people do whenever they reach that 15 rep or 20 rep of the push-up? They just keep doing the push-up. What you need to do is change the variation to something slightly harder so that now it will lower your reps. And that is the most basic form of progression when it comes to bodyweight training that most people never do. And like I said, I believe it's just due to ignorance about how bodyweight training is actually done. And whenever you actually learn about the progression model with calisthenics and how everything has a progression to it, you will literally start to become obsessed with it. And I would say the journey up into the full skill or maybe the full variation of the hardest variation there is makes the progress in the process a lot more fun, because you start to think of calisthenics sort of like a levels in different video games. You know, you start on level 1, but in time you get to level 5, level 6, and then throughout time or even years of effort, you finally get to that hardest variation of the skill. But even then, you can still progressively overload. All you gotta do is just now add weight to the hardest variation that you're doing. Now, hopefully a lot of you guys did not make that mistake. However, another big mistake that most people make is the fact that you're just not consistent enough. Seeing progress in bodyweight training happens really fast at first, but as you reach that novice or that advanced level, progress definitely will start to slow down. And if you're not consistent, then clearly you're not gonna see progress. I believe with bodyweight training, you have to be even more consistent than you are with weightlifting, just because there's so many different variables getting stronger in order for you to get more efficient with your body in order to progress. I'm talking about your central nervous system. I'm talking about your joints, tendons, and ligaments that also have to get stronger. And let's not even mention the fluctuations of your body weight on a daily basis, which could also affect your progress. There's so many variables that go into how strong you feel throughout the day. And it's just so different with calisthenics that some days you'll feel heavy and very lethargic, and you'll lose a few reps on a variation or a progression that you've been doing for months now. But the next day you'll feel really light, you'll feel mobile, and you'll actually progress a little bit further. So the complexity of calisthenics just makes it so that a lot of people are just confused and overwhelmed by it. So with that being said, they ended up quitting and not being consistent. Now in the past, I made a video talking about the harsh truths of calisthenics, and one of those points I mentioned about how you're gonna progress a little bit faster if you have more favorable leverages. And calisthenics in itself does cater more towards lighter and shorter people. So if you find yourself above 6 feet tall, maybe you're at a point to where you're not necessarily low percent body fat, you might be above 15%, you might not have the strongest strength base out there, then calisthenics itself is going to be a little bit more difficult for you. That's just the way it is. You look at any sort of calisthenics transformation or any of the best calisthenics people out there, usually they started off skinny and or they're below 5'10". It's rare to see somebody who's like 6 foot to 6'1", 6'2", heavy, and is still doing like a lot of these calisthenic skills and moves and just really strong. Of course it's possible, but the fact that it takes so much effort and that it'll take a little bit longer time, people tend to fall off and quit because of that, right? It's just easier just to go to weightlifting or maybe to do body weight exercises still, but just add weight to yourself. So the point is you could have just unfavorable leverages, but that just tells me that you weren't willing to put in the effort over a long period of time because you wanted results that much quicker. But the truth is you really can't compare your progress to that of somebody else who looks totally different than you, who might be 5'7", 130 pounds, and you're 6'2", 190, right? You can't compare the progress at all. You're at two different points in your journey, and that's because of the leverages that you hold. Now, I did mention some weight fluctuations and how that's gonna affect your progress, but also if you're somebody who's really focused on bulking up, I would say weight can be a form of progressive overload. When you kind of think about it, right? You gain weight, that's a form of progressive overload when it comes to other body weight exercises that you're doing. But if you're constantly doing that, especially if you're getting weight really, really fast, then you're gonna see hindrance in your calisthenics progress. Then from there, it's gonna seem like you never progress actually. But the truth is, once you get that fat off you, as long as you continue doing the body weight exercises and the progressions while you're getting weight, you'll actually find yourself progressing a lot faster once you get on that cut. I believe that's not like a full excuse as to why people don't see progress, is because like they're bulking up constantly and all that stuff. Because I found that as long as I continue doing the exercises, I will still be just as strong, if not stronger, whenever I cut down, especially if the muscle that's being built is through some of those body weight exercises or progressions. That's why even still right now on my lean bulk, I'm still doing my 90-degree handstand push-ups, I'm still doing weighted pull-ups, I'm still implementing all my body weight exercises because I don't want to lose that strength whenever I start to cut. And a lot of the muscle that I build, I also want it to be through the mechanical tension that I'm doing through my body weight movements too. Now, calisthenics alone may not be effective for somebody long-term. However, what I do believe is effective long-term is definitely a hybrid approach whenever you combine calisthenics and weightlifting. That's why in this video, I'll talk about my principles on how you can effectively combine both so that you see even faster results. Be sure to watch that next.